Okay, question number 9. We have f of x is equal to x squared minus 12x minus 6. So, question A, determine without graphing whether the function has minimum value or maximum value. So it has minimum or maximum. How we are going to find out? We are going to look at the leading coefficient of this trinomial, of this quadratic expression, of quadratic function. We are looking at coefficient of x squared. Here, if it's positive, so which is positive, then the graph has minimum. But this is true about quadratic functions, okay? If it would be negative, then the graph would have maximum, okay? So since we have positive, then the function has minimum value. Okay? Which is, this is ax squared, let me put this way, plus bx plus c. It's because a is equal to greater than 0. Okay. It's much better. And b, what's the coordinate of maximum or minimum, in this case, coordinate of minimum value? To find the coordinate, so which means it's a vertex asking, if it's asking a value for the minimum, that means asking for vertex. So vertex has coordinate negative b over to a and function over b to a. So let's see, my b is negative 12, right? Here it is. And we need a, my a is 2. Okay, so this is value of x, this is value of x, this is value of y. So x is gonna be equal negative, b is gonna be negative 12 over 2 times a. A is 2, so it's gonna be negative and negative gonna be positive. It's gonna be 12 over 4, which is equal 3. And y, which is f of negative b over 2a is going to be equal f of 3, because it's a value of x, right? Plugging this 3, and it's going to be twice 3 squared. Okay, let me write down the original problem. So it's going to be 2x squared minus 12x minus 6, where we are going to plug the value of 3 here. 3 squared times 3 and so on. So it's equal 2 times 3 squared minus 12 times 3 minus 6. Okay, this is going to be 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18 minus 36 minus 6. So it's equal negative 18 minus 6. It's equal negative 24. So here is the coordinate of vertex. It's going to be 3 and negative 24. And question number C. Let's see what it says. Identify functions, domain, and range. Well, domain, since we know it's a parabola, domain is usually negative infinity, positive infinity. But the range, since we have vertex is minimum, right? And this is 0.3 and negative 24. The range is gonna be from negative 24 up to positive infinity, right? Why? Because if this is my graph, let's say this is 3, this is negative 24, and graph goes here. My y is gonna go from here to up, right? So it's gonna be from negative 24 to positive infinity. Okay, question number 10. So we have f of x is equal 3x squared minus 24x minus 1. Okay, we have to do the same thing. Find the vertex, which is maximum or minimum. Find the coordinate of vertex and identify domain and range. So this is going to be again ax squared plus bx plus c. So vertex, since a is positive, right? A is equal 3 and it's positive, hence a is greater than 0. Therefore we have what? Minimum, right? Vertex is minimum. Okay. B, now we need to find the value of vertex. Vertex is equal negative b over 2a and function of negative b over 2a. All right, let's say, and this is one, first one is x because it's a coordinate of vertex, right? Second one is y. So x is equal negative. My b is how much? B is negative 24, right? Here is my b. And a is 3. Okay, it's going to be negative 24 over 2 times a, which is 3. And that's going to be negative is positive. 24 over 6 is equal 4. Now let's find the function f of 4, which is going to be 3x squared minus 24x minus 1. So we have here plugging 4 squared, here is 4, which is going to be 3 times 4 squared is going to be 16 minus 24 times 4 minus 1. And the result is 3 times 16, it's going to be 48 minus 24 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and then 4 times 2 is 8, and 1, 96 minus 1. Okay, and it's going to be 48 minus 96. It's going to be negative 48, and negative 1, negative 49. So the vertex is going to be 4 and negative 49. And C domain is going to be negative infinity, positive infinity. And range is going to be, since we have minimum, that means the graph is going to go up. And here is 4 and negative 49. So range is going to be from negative 49 all the way till up. So it's going to be square bracket because 49, negative 49 is included, and then go up to infinity. Okay. Now you might ask, then why don't you do the same way with domain from 4 to infinity and so forth? The thing is, if this is our y, see, x is going to all the way infinity, going to all the way to infinity. So it will go to negative, we have negative x, we have positive x, and it's gonna, since it's running to infinity, so it will hit negative infinity and we're gonna hit positive infinity. While range, which is y, there is no other value below negative 49, right? Minimum start with 49 and then it's going up. That's why. Question number 11. One more time. Next problem, we have f of x is equal negative 3x squared. We have negative sign, plus 30x and minus 8. So a, what do we have? Our a is equal negative 3, right? Okay, a is equal negative 3, which is less than 0. It's negative, it's not positive, which means in this case we have what? Max or minimum? Correct, we have maximum, because the graph will go like this. So it's gonna be maximum. B, coordinate of maximum. So, which is vertex, it's gonna be the same way. Negative b over to a and function of negative b over to a. So, x and y, coordinate x and y. This is too thick, we change it. Okay, so here we get x is equal negative. My b is positive 30 divided by 2 times. A is negative 3. It's still going to be positive because I have negative and 3 is negative. So it's going to be positive 30 over 6. It's going to be 5. Now f of 5 is going to be, let me plug, negative 3 times 5 squared. And then can change at least color. And then plus 30 times, let me see, minus 8, and here I plug 5. 30 times 5. Okay, so we are getting, first of all, 5 squared is 25. 25 times negative 3, negative 75, plus 150 minus 8. Okay, negative 75 plus 150. So what do we do? 150 minus 70 is going to be 80. And 80 minus 5 is positive 75. 75 minus 8 is going to be 67. So my vertex is going to be 5 and 67. And from here, see, domain is going to be, again, since it's parabola, it's always going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. But the range is going to be different this time since it's maximum, 67. So it's going to go from negative infinity and the range, this is value of y. I'm going to hit 67 as a ceiling, that's all. It can go higher, which means it's going to go. Why I'm looking always this way? Because, numbers are growing, right, from negative to positive. That's why always I'm going to look this way and not from 67 to negative infinity. It's wrong. You always look in the ascending order of numbers. If you have horizontal line, x, you always look from this negative to positive. But if this I turn by 180 degrees, what's going to happen? This plus comes here and this minus comes here. So the graph here is going to go, again, it's going to go from negative to infinity, which means it's coming from negative infinity and hitting 67 as a ceiling in square brackets. Okay, one more with negative sign. Question number 12. F of x is equal negative 3x squared plus 8x minus 7. Okay, it's very similar. So A is equal -3. Since it's negative, then we are going to have what? Maximum, right? We have max. So let's find out vertex. X is equal negative. Where is my B? It's positive 8 over 2A. So 2 times A is -3. It's going to be -8 over -6. You know, I thought maybe you already understood and you know, so I didn't put the formula for vertex, but then I thought maybe somebody looking only at problem number 12 and can be lost. So let me add it real quick. So ax squared plus bx plus c. So vertex is -b over 2a. This is value of x, and value of y, it's going to be f of -b over 2a. Okay, so and here we are getting it's going to be this is 3, this is 4, it's going to be x is going to be 4 over 3, 2 times okay, I was wondering why I got a fraction. So here it's supposed to be 6, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, because it's not our focus now to make it complicated. So it's my focus is to make you understand and not to make you work with fractions right now. So if it's 6, here we are going to have negative 6 over 2 times -3, which is going to be +1. And now f of +1, it's going to be, I'm plugging to original one right here. It's going to be -3 times 1 squared plus 6 times 1 and -7. So it's going to be -3 plus 6 minus 7. -3 plus 6 is +3. And -7 is going to be -4. And lastly, a C domain, it's going to be -infinity, +infinity. But since we have maximum, what's going to be range? It's going to come from -infinity and hit the ceiling, which is going to be -4, right? So it's going to be -infinity and coming to -4, which is going to be included. That's why we put square brackets. Okay, last question. Last question, it's interesting. Let's see, we have this time f of x is equal 2x squared minus 2x. Okay. 2x squared minus 2x. How we are going to solve this one? This is going to be interesting. Okay, so here we have ax squared plus bx and then plus c. C is going to be 0, right? Because there is no c, so it is going to be 0. Okay, so a is equal to, which is positive, right? Therefore, we are going to have minimum, right? The graph will go up, right? Okay, now let's do vertex. Vertex -b over 2a and f of -b over 2a. All right. So x is equal, because this is x, this is my y. X is equal negative. How much is my b? -2. And over 2 times a. Okay. So this is going to be 2 over 4, which is going to be 1/2. Okay, f of 1/2, it's going to be equal, so 2 times 1/2 squared minus 2 times 1/2, right? And then plus 0, obviously we skip it. So we get twice 1 over 4, correct? And then minus twice 1/2. This is gone, will be 1. And here will be 1 and 2. It's going to be 1/2 minus 1. Let me write down here minus 1, which is going to be negative 1/2. So this is going to be our vertex, which is going to be 1/2 is x, and negative 1/2 is going to be our y for vertex. And lastly, C, domain is going to be again negative infinity, positive infinity, but range, guess what? It's going to, since it's negative, which, and it's since it's going to higher, so it will start with negative 1/2 and it will go up to infinity. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Again, if you would like to see any topic, put in the comment. If you like it, put your like, and I hope this will help. Thank you. Bye. Okay, question number 1. We have f of x is equal 4 times x minus 3 squared plus 3. Let me make it 4 because can be confusing later. Okay, 4 times x minus 4 squared plus 3. What we need to do, we need to find the coordinate of vertex for the parabola of this quadratic equation. So for vertex, we are going to take the shift of the y and shift of the x. What is the shift of the y? It's plus 3. What is the shift for the x? It's negative 4. So remember what I told you. When x, we have, if I have, let me see. Yeah. X is, if it says x minus 4, then it's gonna shift towards positive 4. Why? Because when I'm taking x minus 4 is equal 0, x is equal positive 4. Okay? All right. But if I take and close, let's say this entire thing is 0, then f of x is equal positive 3. For that very reason, x is changing towards, we are shifting the x towards opposite sign, but change of y, we go directly to the sign it has, which means, so for vertex, it's x is going to be positive 4, y is going to be positive 3. So I flip the sign for the change of x, and shift for the y stays the same. Question number 2. I have f of x is equal 4 times x minus 7 squared plus 3. So vertex is going to be, so negative 7, it's a change of x, will become positive 7, and plus 3 will stay there. That's a vertex for this function. Question number 3. We have f of x that is equal negative 4 times x plus 5 squared and plus 9. So vertex here is going to be what? We have plus 5, so it's going to be negative 5 and plus 9. Okay, now what if, question number 4, we have a quadratic function in the format 3x squared minus 6x and plus 10. So in this case, we are going to use the following format. So for a, well, it's too thick. If we have format ax squared plus bx plus c, then formula for vertex is, so x is going to be negative b over to a, and y is going to be function of negative b over to a. Let me explain this so you can understand what do I mean by that. Function of negative, which means first I'm using this formula to find value of x, and then this value of x I'm plugging in the expression ax squared plus bx plus c to see how much y will come out. All right, let's do on this one. So if I write down here ax squared plus bx plus c, yes, okay, let's see, my vertex, so value for x, it's gonna be my x is value of x is gonna be negative sign. How much is my b here? It's right here, b. Look, b here, 6 here. So it's gonna be negative 6, right? My b is negative 6. So it's going to be negative 6, which will give me positive, negative, negative. And divided by 2 times, and a is how much? 3, right? Okay, we divide by 3. Okay, that looks like positive 1, right? Positive 1. In that case, all I'm going to do, plug x as a positive 1, because this is 6, cancel, and this negative, negative will give me plus. So, vertex, the function f of 1 is equal 3 times 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 10. So, it's going to be 3 minus 6 plus 10. 3 minus 6, negative 3, plus 10 is equal 7, which means this is going to be 7. So let me rewrite clean. Vertex is 1 and 7. Okay? Next one. Question number 5, we have f of x is equal negative x squared plus 10x and plus 1. Okay. Let me move a little bit down so I can, there we go. So I have a x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, how much is my b? How much is my a? Because I'm going to use b and a, right? B is going to be equal positive 10. A is going to be equal negative 1. Because here it's negative 1. Okay, let's solve it. So x is going to be vertex. It's going to be, I'm using this one, right? This negative b over to a. All right, negative. B is 10, so it's going to be 10 over 2 times a is negative 1. So it's going to be, so again, negative negative gives me positive 2 and 10, it's going to be 5. So I'm plugging f of 5. It's equal 5 times x squared plus, what am I doing? Hold on. Negative 5 squared plus 10 times 5. I'm just plugging this 5. We calculated. Positive 5. I am plugging into this expression. Maybe I should squeeze in this the quadratic expression here also so it would be clear. I think that's a good idea. So this is 1 plus 10x plus x squared negative. And here is f of 5. So you can understand. So we put negative here, 5 squared plus 10 times 5 and then plus 1. So it's going to be negative 25 plus 50. So negative 25 plus 50 is 25, and then plus 1, it's going to be 26. So we are getting here 26. To rewrite clean, vertex, it's going to be 5 and 26. Question number 6. So we have graph. We are given graph. So that works like 1 and negative 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4 comes here. This is vertex. So it's gonna go 3 here, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2 comes here. Let me see. This is gonna be a 2, 1, 2. So the graph is gonna go like this. This is gonna be my graph. Negative 1. This is negative 4. Okay. Now what we need to identify. So this graph is, let's write down this graph. if change of x is for vertex is -1, that means we are going to get x plus 1, right? Going backwards. Plus 1 squared, and shift of y is -4, -4. Yes? Okay. So let's find out this graph is symmetric to this x is equal -1, right? This is going the symmetry. Use your imagination. It indeed has to be symmetric. Okay? Symmetric to, let me see. Symmetric to x is equal -1. Okay. Next, what is going to be domain? Since it's running to infinity, domain is going to be -infinity, +infinity. What is going to be range? It's a different story. Range is a value of y, right? It starts from here and it goes up, growing up. Plus this -4 is included, right? Because it's sitting right on the graph, which means we put square brackets. And it's running up to infinity. Infinity will always put parentheses because infinity doesn't have end. Okay. Next. Question number 7. We have following graph. So the symmetry is gonna go through 1, and 1 and 3. 1, 2, this is 3, which means it's gonna go here. So this is 4. So the graph is gonna go like this. Okay. This is our graph. Let's write down equation since my my x is +1, which means x is gonna shift in the equation to -1, right? It's gonna be x -1 squared, and shift of y is +3, +3, right? Okay. So it's gonna be symmetric to x is equal 1. Okay, domain, yet again, -infinity, +infinity. Domain is a value of x. Since it has arrows, which means, and it doesn't have any interruption, so it's running to infinity. And range, that's a value of y. Range is starting from the value of what? 3, right? Including 3. So 3 to infinity. Okay. Question number 8. Okay. Well, this time we have f of x is equal 16 minus x minus 2 squared. So let's see. This is my graph. So this is 2. Well, we need to assume this is 16. I can do this. I can put here 3 dots, so which means there is a cut, and take this as a 16. Okay? And this is my graph. All right. So let's justify this equation, see if it's matching to this graph or not. So I'm rewriting negative x minus 2 squared. First I'm writing this piece, and then plus 16. Okay, the fact that I have here negative, that shows that indeed the graph flipped down, right? Okay. Next, what is my vertex here? My vertex is x minus 2, which means it's going to be positive 2, and then positive 16. And indeed, this is positive 2 and positive 16, which means, yes, this equation is describing this graph. Now, domain, again, is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity, but the range, where it's at the end, 16. So since y is growing, this is negative, this is positive. So the y is growing like this, right? From negative to positive. Therefore, for this graph, the range will grow from negative infinity and it will stop at value 16. Plus this point 16 is included because it's right on the graph. Therefore, we put square bracket. Okay? Question number